As I've told you guys, one of the symptoms of Asperger's is an intense interest in subjects which go in phases. When I was little, one of my intense interests was the Titanic. And just last week, I heard an interesting bit of news about the Titanic. Apparently, the cause of the Titanic sinking was not so much it hitting an iceberg as it was the captain of the ship steering the ship into the iceberg. Yes, they've discovered that the Titanic sinking was due to human error. This came out because I think it was the grandson of one of the survivors who was, pardon, ship staff on the Titanic, recently revealed that, during the period that the Titanic took place when it sank, ships were transitioning from sailboat type steering, where you steer in the opposite direction you want to go. So if you want to go left, you steer right. If you want to go right, you steer left. They were transitioning from that to traditional steering, where you turn in the same direction you want to go. And apparently, the guy steering the ship panicked when he saw the iceberg and reverted to the style of steering he was used to, and in an attempt to steer away from the iceberg, actually steered right into it. Another reason that the Titanic went down was because the owner of the ship, who was on the ship at the time, was still convinced that it was unsinkable. It was advertised as unsinkable because it had multiple holes. If one hole was breached, the others could be closed up. Problem was they didn't succeed in closing them up in time. I think it had like more than 3 holes. I'm not sure if this is correct, but the number 8 comes to mind. I think it might have had 8 holes. But the problem is, the guy who was convinced it was unsinkable said, "Keep the ship moving, we're fine," which caused it to fill up faster and sink. If it had stayed floating, just gone full stop and just floated and waited for rescue, the rescue ship would have been able to arrive in time to rescue everyone before the ship went under. Not a single life would have been lost. So as it turns out, human error was responsible for the tragedy that killed 1,500 people. Why did this not come to light? Because the survivor, whose grandson revealed this, was friends with the people responsible for this. And he kept the secret in the family and made sure that no one told, because he didn't want his friend's family name to be disgraced. One of the guys, I believe it was the guy who was steering the ship, he even went on to become like a national hero over in Britain. He was a war hero during World War II, apparently. And he didn't want his friend's name disgraced. But they're all dead now, so he figured there would be no harm in bringing these facts to light. So, it wasn't just an iceberg. It was human error. I just think that's interesting to find that out after all these years.